welcome to day 24. So today we are going to go through something that I learned over the past, I would say like 7 to 8 years of getting my ish together, which seems to be the theme of this month, which I'm loving. And in prior years, we've talked about this idea of a bounce back rate. So what I want to help you do is get your ish together, be able to have a bounce back that is pretty solid. And if you've never heard of a bounce back rate, it's ultimately when you're having a nuclear meltdown and you're struggling with something, you're in the mud, and you really want to be able to get out of it. But a lot of us, more often than not, when you're in that funk or that mud or that creative lull, or you're just plain old having a bad freaking day and you had a nuclear meltdown, how long does it usually take you to get out of it? Because for a lot of us, it's a long time. And it can vary from an hour to 2 hours to it'll ruin your entire day. For some of us, it can linger into the next day or to the full week, and it can just really take you down a spiral. So what I've learned to do is to assess that, recognize how bad it is, and bounce back really freaking fast. So I've shared examples of this on my stories and in my videos. One thing that I shared was my leaf arch that I beautifully made this year and I was so proud of. On my birthday, it actually got knocked over by a gust of wind. And I had this saying that I said on my stories, and so many of you were like, oh, but I said, if I cry, it's going to take longer to fix. And that is something at the back of my mind that I hold near and dear. And there is so much, and this is really why I love this channel, that I can share all the behind the scenes and the real talk, because I know you guys love that part of the entire, I don't know, the entirety of the making of the videos and the different companies that Andre and I own, and just sharing the non-perfect journey of it all. So with our merch launch this year, it was an amazing launch. But the day that it launched, you would have never known that I got up at 5 a.m. to get everything ready to make sure that the website was correct, to get all the final pictures up, to load every single product to the website. And a couple different things happened. There were people randomly placing orders for like Christmas merch that somehow stayed on the shop. So there was that. And then there was the entire website at about 9 a.m. that morning crashed. Just disappeared, did not exist anymore. Every single item was gone. And I just kept telling myself, I said to Andre, I don't think we can have a launch today. And he wrote back, I know you'll fix it. And I did. I don't know how, but I think that a huge part of it is that I had an extremely fast bounce back rate. I had a nuclear meltdown for like 2 seconds, but I kept telling myself, if you cry, it's going to take longer. If you cry, the chances are of you getting this fixed, because once you start crying, then you're going to spiral and you're not going to be in that mode of resolution. So I'm here to share this with you because not all journeys are perfect. Sometimes it's quite messy, and sometimes you don't see that side of other people's journeys and you just assume that it's only hard for you. And I'm telling you, it's not. Sometimes some people just have a faster bounce back rate and they get back to it. So that's what I want to talk to you about. So how fast are you to bounce back? A huge thing that helps me bounce back is having an environment that sets me up for success. So one thing that I do, and this is just such a random example, but setting yourself up for success. One thing that I do as a job is to film videos. So why on earth would I not have batteries charged, ready to go? And right next to me, I literally have a charger that holds 2 different batteries. As soon as one's dead, the new ones go in. It's an example of setting yourself up for success. The other thing I do is I try and keep everything clean around me as much as possible. I am a creative person, so I do tend to have like things gather, but I do try to have things that always inspire me and always motivate me around me. So one thing that I have right behind you is, I've shared this before actually in a video. I have this board that I got at HomeSense, and it's just an old kind of rustic looking board with a couple of pins, and there's like 9 different pins, like clothespins. And I put my goals on there so that when I'm literally talking to you or when I'm doing anything, that's around me. So I don't have time. Like, let's say the video gets messed up and I have to refilm it. Instead of me having a meltdown, that is in my line of sight. And I look right at it, just like the story that I've shared in the past of me keeping my sticky note on my computer of the saying, at first they'll ask you why you're doing it, and in time they'll ask you how. I kept that on my computer for a reason, because anytime that I pressed publish on a post that I was doubting myself, that I had fear, anytime that I hit send on an email that I was doubting myself and I had fear, I looked at that. So assess your environment, assess what's around you, and if that's not conducive to you bouncing back, then maybe think about that. when life sends you a challenge, like anything that's difficult, and we all have stuff, by the way, and I've shared this before, there is someone on this planet that is dying to trade places with you. So no matter what you think you're going through, you have a beautiful life. And there is challenges, it does happen, but when it happens, double the F down. So when you're tossed a little bit of a wild card, that's one thing that I will say that I'm very strong at is I get up and I start swinging. And I double down. And not only do I double down, I double the F down. Like I really get after it. So one thing that I will share with you today, and this is kind of your homework or your just thing that I want to leave you with that you can work on, is in honor of tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to have the man, the myth, the legend on. We'll have him for a couple of days and you guys can ask him your questions and all of that. But in honor of him, I named this MMA. And if you guys don't know, my husband is a fighter. He's like the kindest human, but he's not like a fighter in the sense of like he'll fight you, but he practices MMA and he loves it. And it's like he's very good at it. And his teacher wants him to compete. And I said no, but he also said no. But in honor of him, I titled this MMA, Massive, Messy Action. When you have a struggle, when you have something that you're going through, when you have a challenge, not only double the F down, but take massive, messy action. It doesn't have to be cute. It doesn't have to be perfect, but get to it because you can't be upset or sad and productive at the same time. You can't. So pick a lane. And what I always choose is productivity. So if you need the best distraction and the best gift ever, massive, messy action. It doesn't have to be perfect because the first thing that you do, the first step is always going to be messy. So take massive action. And what is one thing on that top 10 list of goals that you have this month that you might have not checked that you could take massive, messy freaking action today? So what's your MMA? And I'll see you guys tomorrow with Sir Andre. Bye, you guys. I hope that you loved this, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Let's go.